How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Well, I say welcome back. I guess it is a welcome back to Beyond the Arc, but welcome to season 3 of Beyond the Arc after, well, we had the first season, then the second season, and now it's the third season. That's how numbers usually work. And
We're
for the
up,
first
bro. We're up.
for the first time in what feels like forever, Sully is back on the podcast.
Yeah.
he's, he's in uni. Look at him. Look at him
I
go.
know, man. I stepped up. I don't know what happened. I went to sleep one day at home. I woke up and I was here. I was like, bro, what's going on? Like, I'm not gonna be here, but we're out here. We're living.
We are out here, and hopefully, when it comes to uploads on this podcast, we should be getting a bit more consistent, at least up to Christmas, because we have the same
Mm,
day off pretty much. So we
yeah.
should be able to get recording on a Thursday, which is today's date, the 6th of October, and then I'll maybe be able to get it out on the following Friday, depending on how much I want to edit it down or how much it needs editing down. But yeah, hopefully season 3 will bring consistency, more weekly roundups, more videos, maybe some gaming videos in there now and then. Who knows? Maybe we might do more than one a week if we're feeling
If you're feeling spicy.
yeah, if we're feeling a little bit naughty, we might do more than one a week. But yeah, obviously, Sully, you've been gone a while. How are you doing today, man?
I've been doing good, man. You know what it is? It's that NBA season. It's been gone for too long. Like, I was just getting withdrawal symptoms. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. But we're coming back soon. What is it like next week now?
Yeah, it's
The
in a
league's
few
coming
weeks
back.
now. Yeah,
I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. I've
this
been seeing all
this
these
has
preseason clips.
Yeah. This has it in it to be one of the most entertaining NBA seasons ever, because not only do you have all of the contenders at the top, you also have
Mm,
people like after. Did you see Scoot Henderson versus Victor Wembanyama the other day?
it's been crazy.
There's going to be a fight for who gets that number one and the number two pick. I'm
Everybody
sure.
wants to tank this season. I can't lie. If I'm like the Brooklyn Nets or something, I'm gonna tank. I can't lie. I'm gonna say, KD, Kyrie, it's time for you guys to lay it down because we need this guy. That guy is. I actually. There's no words to describe the hype in this guy Wembanyama. Like, he's probably one of the most hyped NBA prospects like ever. I
hmm
can't lie.
hmm
Like, since I mean I wasn't around, but probably since like LeBron or something. Like, bro,
Yeah,
this kid
I've read
is
I've read that stuff.
crazy.
Yeah.
This kid is crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna tank. If I was an NBA GM right now, I'd be looking at how the best way to tank
Trade my players. Get them out of here.
fully.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Well, we're going to be talking about who we think is going to tank the most and who we think is not going to tank the most, who we think is actually going to do well this year, because this is the first episode of a new season, which means that it is predictions time. Myself and Sully are going to be predicting the conference standings, both East and West. And yeah, I mean, last year, I'm pretty sure we got like equal level. We got like equal when we reacted to them.
Yeah, I
We got like
think
equal points.
yeah, because it was really weird because then we did the thing and you were like, bro, I don't know how we've done it, but we got the same point because some of them we got like bang on, and then some we were just way off, and it just ended up adding up. Like,
Now, I don't think it's going to be like that this year. I've gone with quite a few like outside picks, but I
you
mean,
reckon?
yeah. I think I almost gave away a few like in last week's video, but without giving away too much, I think before we get into it, make sure that you are subscribing, leaving a like down below. Make sure just to show that you're interested and excited for some more Beyond the Arc as we
We
head
need
into
that. We need that.
the NBA season. Make sure you're sharing it out no matter what you're listening on, no matter if it's any podcast platform or YouTube itself. So I think without further ado, which do we think is going to be the most competitive? And we'll do that one second.
Mm, that's fun.
I think the East might be more competitive. This guy's eating already, like like 5 minutes in. This guy, he never changes. I think we will start with the West. I think, because I think the East is going to be unbelievably competitive this year. We've seen obviously
I
that
mean, I don't know. I mean,
everybody's
as
been
we've
traded to
always
the East.
true. Like, we've always known the West to be the most competitive, but
It's
the
kind
East
of
has been
balancing
growing.
itself
Like
out a little bit now. Yeah.
the East has been growing. Like
hmm Yeah.
especially like obviously Boston are gonna like try and run it back. Obviously Giannis and them guys. I think you're right on that one, to be honest.
hmm So we'll
But
start with
at the same time,
sorry.
we've got the Clippers now who are like
Yeah, yeah.
strong again.
True. Although, again, my predictions might be a little bit out there on that one, but who knows?
Mm,
I guess we will get to that, but we'll
hmm.
get to it quite soon because we'll start with the West.
Yeah,
15th
okay.
position at the West, right at the bottom. He said not to bet on them. I've put the
Yeah.
Spurs there.
Crazy. He did say that. He did say don't bet on us to win the
Greg
league.
Popovich, by the way, their actual coach, said,
The
"Don't go to
actual coach
Vegas."
did say that. That's exactly what happened.
He's like, "I want a tank. I want Wembanyama in my team."
He does. And to be fair, I would do the exact same thing. I'm not gonna lie. Um, it's not even a bad shout, to be honest. But I disagree with you.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah. And okay, I don't think they're this bad, but I think they're gonna. I think OKC are gonna go for 15th,
I think that might be a shout.
especially
Because
after
obviously,
Chet's
yeah,
injury.
No Chet this season. The Paul Gilgeous Alexander, man, this guy's all star level, and he's being kept
Mm.
down by all of these
But
draft picks that OKC
I
have.
saw some. I saw something. Yeah, and I
Uh
fully like when I saw it, I was like, yeah, this is gonna happen. So they
huh.
tank this year. They get Wembanyama. Then they've already got bare first round picks. The year after they get Bronny. Then they've got LeBron. Bro, they're winning a chip in 2 3 years, bro. They'll have Wembanyama, Chet, flipping Josh Giddey, Chet
Gilgeous
Alexandra,
Alexander and LeBron.
LeBron, and Bronny. Bro, that's a championship team, bro. That's a chip for OKC in the next 3 years. Imagine if it happens, then this right here, this
This
is
is
gonna
the
go
clip.
crazy.
This is the clip. Yeah. Okay. Well, I
Mm,
mean, I don't think that'll happen. I think OKC probably won't even want to go for Wembanyama, given that Chet plays in his position, unless they want to run like 2 7'2" plus players in
I
their front
mean,
court. But
like,
I've put
uh,
OKC 14th.
okay, yeah.
I think
I mean, in that that
I don't
region,
think the Spurs have nobody. I mean, they've got a lot of players that I want to do well. Keldon Johnson, I think, might
yeah.
have like a Jeremy Grant style year a couple of years ago
Mm,
when Detroit weren't doing anything and trying to tank for the first overall pick, which turned out to be Cade.
yeah,
Um, so obviously, he's their best player on a bad team. Someone's got to score the
yeah,
points, so I think he'll do well. Obviously, I want Jeremy Sochan to do well. Obviously,
yeah.
British roots.
Mm,
Love to see British people in the league. Um,
mm,
so yeah, they pretty much have nobody. Okay, so you still have Gilgeous Alexander, and if Sam Presti can persuade Gilgeous Alexander just to keep it down for one more year, if they get Scoot Henderson in, that backcourt's going to be dangerous. And then obviously Chet comes back the season after. Which again, side note, will make for a very interesting like rookie of the year conversation with
yeah,
Wembanyama,
true,
Chet, and Scoot Henderson in there.
true.
It's going to be extremely interesting. Yeah, I've put OKC 14th. I just
Yeah,
and it's also a case of I think Gilgeous Alexander is going to be injured for a couple of months at the start of the season.
yeah,
Um,
something like I saw
so if they can, tank enough,
that.
if Gilgeous if they can go on like a losing streak, like a very bad losing streak for the first
Mm,
couple of months of the season, and then Gilgeous Alexander can come in, play well, and probably they'll still finish about 14.
mm. Yeah, I've gone the opposite from you. I'll put Spurs at 14 just because, like you said, they don't really have anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would like to see them a bit higher than that. Like Spurs is just one of them teams. Like Pop, everybody loves Pop. Do you know what I'm saying?
hmm
But
hmm
it doesn't look like it's going to be one of those years for them where they do well enough to get like even the play in. I don't think they're going to get anywhere near that this year.
No. No.
But like we've obviously seen, that could be a good thing for them in the long term. The lottery picks and everything for Wembanyama or whoever else the draft prospects may be in the next year. Everyone's really only looking at one guy though. But this could be the start for them. Like what they need. Like everybody always finds that one guy in the draft that like elevates their team. This might be him for them. Or if it is him that they get, then it definitely is what's going to elevate them. But we'll see. But as of right now, I think we can both agree those are the two teams that will probably sit in the bottom.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
And then just above them, I've put Utah, the Jazz.
Crazy,
I
crazy.
I like loads of people think that they've been fleeced by the Cavs and the Timberwolves. Sorry,
I don't think they
for their
have,
two
you know.
players. I don't think it's as
Mm.
bad as they think.
Me neither.
Um, they're obviously not going to be as good as what they were
Yeah, of course.
last season, but or the seasons prior. But you
Mm.
know they have got Colin Sexton, who I think a lot of people forget averaged 22 points per game in his last healthy season.
Mm.
So you know
Yeah.
he could push to be an all star level player. Larry Markkinen, we've seen glimpses of him. Obviously, I'm a Chicago fan, so I've seen glimpses of him. This is kind of
Mm.
the season that he needs to kind of
Step
break
up,
out a
kind of.
little bit, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously at the moment they still have Mike Conley, and I think
Mm.
they're going to go into the start of the season with him.
Mm.
So you know that's decent veteran status. So obviously they're not going to challenge for playing, but equally I don't think they're
Mm.
bad enough to finish towards the bottom, like right near the bottom.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. And to be honest, like I agree with you. I don't think they got as bad of the deal as everybody thinks. Like, yeah, okay, they lost two of their biggest players, but they also got a lot in return and like hella picks. Like they are like we saw like they are going diving into the rebuild. Like they didn't hold on to like even we saw like when they got rid of Pat Bev as well, we saw like okay, these guys are fully cleaning out shop like and just restarting, which I guess is good to see sometimes. Maybe as a fan, they might not like it for a year or two, but in the long term, I think it's going to be a lot better for them. And I don't know. I've not got them as 13 personally, but I've not got them much further away from that. I think I think in the next couple years, probably we'll see a big improvement in like their lineup from where it is now. But even then, like you said, Colin Sexton, like we've not seen him in a while, but the guy is good. We know he's good. Just because he had an injury, that doesn't like take away his basketball ability.
Hmm.
And when he was like still on the Cleveland roster, we were saying next year he's a starting five player for them. That is a change now that he's on a different team. Like his ability doesn't go, and the team itself might not be as good as what he like the Cavs and what he could have done at the Cavs, but I still think he's good enough to probably keep them from being the bottom two. Maybe even I've got them out of the bottom three, but I agree with you on that one. I don't think they got as hard done by as everybody thinks.
Have you got Houston in at 13 for what we're
I
saying?
do, I do, I do, I
Okay,
do.
right.
But I didn't want to have to put them that low because I do actually like some of their players. But
No, yeah. I mean,
it's just not
I
enough for
want
me
them to
right
do
now.
well this year. I've put them 12.
Mm.
So
I just don't
I
see
want them to
them
do well this year.
as high up yet. Maybe next year or the year after we can talk about Houston maybe pushing for playing, but as of right now, I don't see it. Like I said, I really
Mhm.
like some of their players. I really like them as a team as a whole. I like how like they're trying to rebuild since Harden. It's not like they just laid down and just became like a Detroit team. Like you know how they just thought, yeah, we're dead. We're just gonna be dead for a while and see what happens. They're actively trying to rebuild, and I do like that.
Yeah.
And I think over time, like again with the Spurs and OKC and all the other teams we spoke about already, in the next 2 3 years they probably will be pushing for them higher places. But as of right now, I've got them 13.
Yeah. And I mean, I've got on 12. I mean, I'm high on Kevin Porter. I'm a lot higher on Kevin Porter than I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Jalen Green obviously has superstar level potential as a scorer, in my
Mm.
opinion. Jabari Smith, I think, is going under the radar by
I really like him. I'm
a
not
lot of
gonna lie, I
people.
really like him.
You know, people are saying it's going to be Bankero, and then if not Keegan Murray, nobody's really talking about Jabari Smith. Um, so yeah, I think he has a lot to prove. He doesn't have as many eyes on him,
100%.
which might be a good thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, he has a lot to prove there. I just think the fact that they're such a young team will keep them going like
Yeah.
throughout the whole season, if that makes any sense. They'll have the energy to keep up with a long season, which I don't think
Mm.
many. Obviously, the teams below the Spurs are pretty young. OKC are still very young. Utah maybe less so, but
Mm.
um, like the Rockets, I just that very young explosive backcourt. Obviously, there's no defense there, but
Yeah.
as scorers, I respect both Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, and yeah, I hope Kevin Porter has a decent breakout year.
100%. I completely agree there, and I think we never know. We might be wrong. That, like you said, they've got a young core, and they might be what Houston need this year to maybe try and push for that top 10. Who knows? It could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't underestimate the fight of the young guys as well. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of teams, like although they've still got the superstar players are getting older. Like, do you know what I mean? They're not getting any younger. They're not getting any more healthier. Whereas these young guys, they've got it. They can play like 2, 3 basketball games a week and be fine and recover for the next week. These older guys, they're not going to be playing every single game. They're not going to be putting in the most minutes like that now. We're going to see them dropping. But Houston, they don't really have any vets like that. They've got literally a young, rounded team, pretty much, and that might be enough for them to even get higher than West. Like predicting, I actually kind of hope that, obviously, in terms of when we look at it next year, I don't want to be too wrong, but a
Yeah,
couple of places ahead of where we put them isn't that bad. But
yeah.
hopefully we can see that.
Who? So have you got Utah 12th then, or who have
Yeah,
you got?
yeah, yeah,
Right, okay. So we're kind of in the same ballpark, but we haven't actually got. We
yeah.
haven't predicted the same position for anyone yet.
I think it'll start to shift soon.
Yeah. What do you think will start actually getting in there?
Yeah, I've got a
Getting to it.
crazy one as well coming up. I've
All
got a
right.
crazy one. You probably like I'll probably get slaughtered like for one of them, but I'm ready to go bold.
Okay. Well, I mean, so am I, but I don't think I'm there yet. We've talked about Utah. So I guess 11th. Who have you got 11th?
I've got LA there again.
The Lakers.
Yeah, and it pains me to say because I like the Lakers and I love LeBron, and I think although like we've seen like LeBron and AD and all these guys talk about whatever, the fact of the matter is the big three for the Lakers is still Russ, AD, who loves to get injured, and then it just leaves LeBron out there to do what he did last year, where I think we saw him play 3 different positions last year. I remember he was playing the five at one point, he was playing
Yeah,
four,
yeah.
like
He's played point. Yeah.
he was doing everything, like, and they didn't really do much in terms of getting new recruitments. Like, okay, they got Pat Bev. How much Pat Bev gonna do for the LA? Like when they're trying to push for top six. I mean, my bad. They probably could push for playing, but I just I see them missing out again, and I don't want to have to miss another year of LeBron not in the playoffs because it's LeBron, and we love LeBron in the playoffs. Who doesn't? But I do think it's going to be one of them years again. I still think like LeBron himself is going to have a good year. Obviously, we know he's probably going to break the scoring record this year. That's going to be crazy. Like, but I think it could be one of them years again for LA. Another year of hurt.
Damn. Well, I mean, I'm not going to speak too much on LA yet because obviously I don't have them there.
Mm.
Instead, I've got another Californian-based team. I have got Sacramento 11th. LOL. Missing out once again on the play-in. I mean, it's the history of the Sacramento.
Mm.
They have now. I forget. It was an NHL team made the playoffs. I forget exactly what team. I don't follow ice hockey at all,
Yeah,
really. But them making the playoffs now means that Sacramento have the longest playoff drought in American sports now. Not even just
also
the
not even the
NBA,
basketball.
in
Okay, that is
In
a
American
peak.
sports. So
That is crazy.
nobody's
That is
played.
crazy.
No current players played the Kings in the playoffs before. Um, it's just not going to happen. No matter how good De'Aaron Fox is going to be, no matter how good Demantis Sabonis is going to be, Keegan Murray obviously is a very solid pickup in the draft. A lot of people saying he probably should have been picked ahead of Jabari Smith, but
Mm.
so he's a solid pickup. But equally, it's just Sacramento, and it's in their DNA that they just won't miss the playoffs. So sorry, that they will miss the playoffs. So yeah, Sacramento 11th in my opinion. It just has to
That's
happen.
crazy. I mean, I'll put them 10th.
Okay,
That's
so you think they're at least
I
going to
think
get
I
some
think that
postseason action?
some type of postseason. Obviously, if they beat the playing games, I don't know, but I think they're just gonna scrape getting into that top 10.
Mm.
And like you said, they've got. You don't think is going to be enough. I think De'Aaron Fox, we've got Sabonis. I think that is going to be just enough to push them into the top 10. Like I said, it could be between them and LA. Like LA could make play into. Obviously, they still do have a lot more power than the Kings, obviously. But I don't know. I feel like all this clowning of the Kings is going to get to them, and they might actually do it. Because obviously last year they did finish the season with like Sabonis and Fox, but they didn't start. Obviously, we know like the
Yeah, I
Sabonis
guess
trade happened in
first full
January,
season. Yeah.
so this could be a first, like it's the first full season for them. I think it could be just what they need, and I think, I mean, a play-in for them is like winning the championship. Let's be real, like, so I think they could do it. I'd like to see that anyway, like just for fun, like all the clowning because the Kings, it can stop. I don't really hate the Kings, so I don't really care if they get clowned or not. But you know, it'd be nice to see a bit of change in like the postseason games as well. Like
Mhm.
we always see the same teams.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, in 10th is where I've got Portland. It's obviously
Mm,
a team that didn't make the play in last
yeah.
season. A team that have rebuilt quite well, I think. Obviously, signing
Mm,
Gary Payton, Jeremy Grant, drafting Shandon Sharp. I think he's going to be solid this season. It
yeah.
all does. I think 10th is probably their lowest point. They probably won't go lower than 10th, in my opinion. But equally, if Dame comes back and is the Dame like we know and love, well,
Mm.
I mean, depending on which team you support, you might not like him.
You might hate them.
Yeah, it might be no hate for some people. It's still in the back of my mind the two threes they hit in like 5 seconds to beat us a couple of
Mm.
seasons ago. So I still haven't forgiven him for that yet. But yeah, if he can come back and be like, obviously he never won MVP, but MVP level
He was
Dame,
MVP level, yeah. All
then he
star Dame.
then he could Portland could easily finish. I
100%.
still don't think I don't think it'll be like proper playoff lock, but equally they could finish like eighth or seventh, and
Yeah.
potentially, well, if they finish seventh or eighth, it's not a case of you've got to win back to back to get in the playoffs. You can afford to lose the first game. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, this is probably a safe pick for me. We hadn't seen Dame in. I mean, to be fair, it feels like he didn't even play last season, but he did play a bit at the start of the season. He didn't really do much, and then got injured.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it will be interesting to see what he does when he gets back. Obviously, he's penned a new contract there, so he's going to be there for a while still.
Yeah.
So Portland fans, I guess you're hoping that he can hit form again. But yeah, I think 10th place for Portland.
Mm. No, I like that. That's not a bad shot. And to be honest, like you were saying, like even with Dame, I don't think he's really got the push anymore. That's the
Mhm,
only thing. I don't think
mhm.
he's got it. Like a lot of players, like we've seen, like especially recently, Bradley Beal, they're okay with being a good player on a team that's not going to do anything. Maybe Dame's accepted that, like his time has passed. He could have done it with Portland back in the day, but they couldn't get past. Obviously, back then, this was when Cleveland and the Warriors were running the show. Like it was hard to overtake them. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But maybe he's accepted that, and now he just got his bug. Like the guy's what 120 something million in 2 years. That's the
Probably, yeah.
deal he signed.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But honestly, except for my one outlier pick, we're literally like we're going not similar, but very similar right now because I put them as ninth.
You've got
But
9th. Right.
yeah, like I said, I don't think he's got the push anymore. I still think they'll have a decent year. Like I think he'll play pretty much the whole year. Like obviously they're paying him all that money. At least he's gonna do is actually play the basketball this year. Like I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
I know we've not seen him in preseason, but he probably will. I think he'll jump into the mix in like November, maybe December time, kind of like what Clay did when he came back. Um, and it might be all right. Like you said, they've rebuilt well-ish, and that might be enough. Like but I do think my last three, like they could shift. All of them could shift, but like I think they'll all end up about around about the same place. But yeah, so I've got them as ninth.
Right. Okay. Well, in 9th, this is probably my first outlandish pick. I've put the Clippers there.
Crazy, no.
I mean, it obviously this was done before preseason for me. I haven't
Hmm.
taken preseason into any of this. The only really
Okay,
thing I've taken into perspective is media day, which we'll see in a few. We'll
yeah.
see how that's affected it in a few picks time. That probably gives away who I'm on about, but yeah, obviously Kawhi's come back and is still Kawhi level, but I'm doing it thinking, will Kawhi play every game? Will Kawhi be Kawhi every game? Obviously, he probably will be.
Mm.
Now we've seen him in preseason, maybe. But I don't know. I just think they finished 8th last season, did they? Yeah, they finished 8th
Finished
last
ninth.
season. Or did they finish 9th?
Yeah, so you think they're gonna go back to back on that one?
Yeah, so they finished 9th last season with just Paul George really carrying them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it is a case that it will be 9th. It is like with Portland. I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
No, honestly, I thought you would have put them higher up. Like, we've been bigging up the Clippers a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
That one did shock me, I'm not gonna lie. But we like to go bold.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. You
I
got.
don't know if this. Go on.
Well, I mean, I'm waiting for you to go bold. We're into the top 8 now, so
Yeah, so for 8, I've got Minnesota. I don't know if that's bold or not. Like,
okay.
I mean, they finished 7th last year, but with all the
So
draft,
you think they've finished 7th last season, and then they've added Rudy Gobert, and you just think they're gonna get worse?
I think they're gonna get worse, yo. I don't
All
think
right,
this type of big man ball that they want to play, I don't think it's gonna work for them like they think it is. Like,
for real.
have you seen what Kat has been saying? Like the guy has been talking absolute nonsense. I used to like Kat, but like now he's saying he's one of the best big. He said he's the best big man shooter in the league. He said they've got a top 3 team in the league. He said,
I mean, I can
he
respect the
says
best. I can respect best big man shooter. He did win the 3-point contest last
no, but he
season.
said something like he either said in the league or all time. I think he said he's the
Okay,
best big man shooter all time. I'm sure that's what he said. And he said something like they've got a top 3 team in the league. No, you
right.
don't, bro. You finished 7th. You got smoked in they got smoked in their own town. Like that clip has to be the biggest. Like, if I was Cut, I would have retired after that game simply because he was like, "We in Minnesota now," and then he got beat in Minnesota. Like, for me, I actually when I saw that, I got embarrassed. I was like, "Bro, that is peak," and that happened to him. And he's saying they've got a top 3 team now, man. And yeah, Rudy Gobert. I'm not like we do like him on this podcast. Big fan. What did I do? I made an impression of him a while ago. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? But I just think he's joined the wrong team. Like, even when the trade happened, we were both very shocked.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Minnesota
definitely.
of all the teams, like I would have just stayed on the Jazz. Like, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work out for them. I really
Yeah.
don't. Because I mean, who have they got for shooters still? Like, Russell ain't, the guy that we used to know.
Mm-hmm.
D'Angelo ain't that guy anymore. Like, I just really don't think it's gonna work for them. Not at all.
Fair. Well,
I,
you've got the Timberwolves 8th.
yeah.
8th is where I've put the Lakers. So
Okay.
higher than
So
you.
you
It's
think they're
just
gonna make it though?
yeah, and it'll definitely solidify if they manage to flip Russell Westbrook into like Miles Turner and Buddy Hield easily, which
Mm,
is what probably should happen because it's just a case of do the Lakers want to give Indiana
yeah.
their first round picks in 2025 and 2027 when they're more likely going to be bad, so then picks are going
Yeah.
to be quite valuable.
Yeah.
It's all up to whether the Lakers can the Lakers can give up that.
Mm,
Do I think that Buddy Hield and Miles Turner makes that a championship level team again? Absolutely not. So if
mm,
I was them, I'd keep the picks. But even then, a lot had to go wrong last year for them to be
yeah. True.
for them to be not even a playing level team. If I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest with you, I genuinely don't think Russell Westbrook can get worse.
That is a very true point. I'm not gonna lie.
He had such a bad season last season that
It can't get worse.
he has to be better. And then the
But
addition of I really like the addition of Pat Bev. If
yeah.
AD plays, he's top 2 centers in the league, maybe. And
Mm,
then obviously LeBron's LeBron. This guy
yeah. True.
ain't gonna stop.
Yeah. Yeah. 20. But I don't know. I mean, I want to agree with you, and I like a small part of me does think that they're gonna make it. But I just think I see AD getting injured again. I see
Mhm.
Russ still getting
Well, he's
because
already he didn't play against the Blazers.
crazy. The
This
guy's
season.
already injured in his preseason.
Yeah.
I know because that's the thing. And AD, like in 10 years' time, we're going to be saying AD was a guy who could have been like
Mhm.
in people's top 10 if it wasn't riddled with injuries. Kind of like T-Mac. T-Mac was like the guy for
Yeah,
so many years, but it's just injury riddled, and then he was never that guy that he could have been. I think it's the exact same for AD. But Russ, like, you know what it is with Russ? He gets clowned and then it gets to him. It so clearly gets to him, and then he doesn't perform. Whereas like some people, like LeBron, he knows how to like show out and prove people wrong. Russ can't really do that anymore. He doesn't have it in him. He doesn't have the fight. He gets like just he gets annoyed so easily by what he sees on Twitter, and then he just starts beefing everyone. Like, stop beefing. Just play basketball, bro. Like, because I
yeah.
miss when Russ was good. I used to really like Russ, and I remember I really backed him so much last year until like January. Then I gave up. I couldn't back the guy anymore. But I mean, I just I think it's not a hot take. Like, I think they could probably clinch it. I just I don't see it happening. But I want it to happen. I don't want to miss LeBron in the playoff again.
Right, right. Well, who have you got seventh in the West, out West? Just missing out on a lock in the playoffs.
I've got the Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggets. Okay. Reigning MVP, reigning two-time
Reigning
MVP.
reigning back-to-back MVP. Now it's the same old story with the Denver Nuggets. What we've been saying, they have one of the best players in the league, but that's it. Like, they need a rounded team to fight, and especially now we've been saying like, for me, it's a lot more competitive now in the West than it was last year in terms of like the Clippers are going to be like obviously like you predict them lower, but I still think they're going to be like on smoke. Like New Orleans, we know they're going to be
It
on
is.
smoke.
It is a very competitive conference.
Yeah,
We
really
say
is.
that the East is competitive still. The West is still
Yeah,
very
no,
competitive. So.
100%, 100%. And I don't think they're gonna have like obviously like we're saying they're still in the play in and they probably might make the playoffs based off that, but I don't think they're gonna make that top six. I think Jokic isn't enough. I mean, he has been enough to just get him there, but I think this year is gonna be the difference for them. And then maybe off this year they'll see, okay, right now we need to actually bring in some guys to help this guy because he can't do it on his own. And then maybe we can talk about them getting top six, top five, top four again. But as of
Yeah,
right now, I think they're finishing seventh, just missing out.
fair enough. Fair enough. Then this happened.
Yeah, he is coming in the NBA. Like, that is true. I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, this will go off in a minute.
It did not. So unfortunately, this is why it's only the West, because we obviously didn't have time because Sully's fire alarm broke. So enjoy the rest of the video. And Eastern Conference predictions will be out next week. Right. Well, we're back after our little.
Uh,
Do you want to call it a technical issue? I don't really think it was technical.
there was some alarming situations going on,
It
and
was. It was an
we had to.
alarming situation. You're
It
not
was
wrong. You're
alarming.
not wrong
It was
right there.
alarming.
Yeah.
So we had to fix
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're
that.
well, I don't actually know. I think we were at you just gone with your number 7 pick, and I'm about to say
Yeah.
my number 7 pick, which I think's a bit outlandish potentially. And that is the Phoenix Suns.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I actually forgot that you. Yeah.
act all surprised like you don't know. I've already told
No,
you.
no. Say again. Say again. Say
Yeah,
again.
sorry, my number 7 pick is the Phoenix Suns.
Nah.
A-level drama this guy did. Can you tell?
Now, even still, I'm not gonna lie. Even now, hearing you say it again, it is kind of like it was not crazy, but it's mad. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am taking this, like I said before with the Clippers. I'm taking this before preseason without any preseason counting, but equally they have just lost to the Adelaide 36ers in preseason. So
basically they lost to us. Like, we might have as well have played them. We probably like seeing that gives me belief. Like, maybe we could go and beat like Chris Paul and Devin Booker and them guys. Maybe we could do that. Like,
maybe. Well, like I said, I'm kind of basing it off of the media day, and if I'm honest with you, the media day for the Suns was absolutely terrible. They've sacked off Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder don't want to be there anymore. I do rate Cam Johnson, but equally Jay Crowder is still an important piece to your team.
Yeah.
Chris Paul says he hasn't learned anything from the Dallas series where he got like done in, like proper locked up.
Yeah.
And then DeAndre Ayton, he looks very, very depressed. He says he's not even spoken to Monty Williams, the coach, since the end of last season. He wasn't thinking he was going to be there this year. But alas, he is still there, which I guess on paper does give the Suns a bit of a chance. You know, they still have Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre, and Cam Johnson's improving, but equally, Chris Paul is also regressing, and their team chemistry is all over the place at the moment.
Yeah. I can agree with you on that part. Like the explanation, I can actually understand. Like you said, the team is kind of in the bin right now. Like they're not exactly they don't look like the team that went to the finals and won 6 games against the Bucks. They don't look like that team. But at the end of the day, they still are majority the same team. And I think that if with the right, mindset and whatever, they can still bring it back. Not to the championship level, like, going to the finals. I don't think they're anywhere near that level yet because, like you said, they have digressed. But I would still say that they're top 6 side, but I can understand your point. Though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they could. I think this is probably the most outlandish pick in the West. Maybe I might have one more, but I don't know. I think just 6 other teams have either star level that I think is better than Devin Booker. Sorry, or they just have better team chemistry. I just feel like the Suns, they're going to start a bit rocky, and maybe by the time they pull it all together, it might not be enough for them to get into that top 6.
Okay, I hear you on that one. And then with that, speaking of the top 6, I'll go into my 6th spot, which I've gone with the Clippers. I think.
Oh, no way!
Nah, no, bro. I just literally decided it right now.
I never knew that.
What?
No, it's not like we've had to, guys. It's not like we've had to re-record the whole thing. It's just we did try and carry on recording after the alarm, but it kept going off. So
yeah, it was long, man.
Yeah, so we've kind of just had to sack off a few picks and then just re-record them. So talk to me about the Clippers anyway.
Yeah, so obviously, like I mentioned, with like the Clippers earlier, when you mentioned where you think they're going to be, I still, like with Kawhi, like the guy is still, in my eyes, one of the most dominant guys in the league. Yeah, we've not seen him since like 2020, 2021 time, but like I just don't think you can lose that type of dominance that you can have. Like I've just never seen anyone lose it. We've seen players be injured and whatever, but it's very rare that we see players come back after a big injury and the main focal point of their game is missing. Like, for example, Klay wasn't the Klay that we remember, but he's still draining threes. Like, when he gets the opportunity, he's not the same, but like you can still see like what he was, just not at the highest level. And I think Kawhi, to be fair, I think we will still see him at one of his highest levels. Maybe not as high as like, the way he was before he got injured, but I think the guy's still going to be one of the like probably top 5 players in the league when he's playing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the end of the season the guy's on defensive player of the team. I get you. The
number
one defense team, maybe even a defense player of the year. Who knows? Obviously, that's kind of Rudy's like title right now, but who knows? He could take it off him. Like I do really think he's one of the most rounded players in the league. Like not the most, but he's definitely up there. And obviously, then he's got the likes of PG, now John Wall. Like I'm really excited to see this team, and I think they're gonna have a really big bounce back. And because we saw a lot of Clippers last year, they were having to like rely on players that they would never normally rely on, like Reggie Jackson and these types of players who are good, but they're not players you rely on.
If anything, that could help them a bit more this year because they know what it's like to kind of be. They've had a bigger role last season.
Yeah.
So 100%. Adjusting back to a smaller role, keeping their like volume, like shot percentage up.
100%. 100%. But yeah, for that reason, I think they're gonna just maybe, I don't know if they scrape it or not, but they're gonna get that top 6. They're gonna get playoffs. I'm really excited to see the Clippers, man. I've been waiting for Kawhi for a long time now.
Yeah, well, in 6th place I've got Dallas. Mainly off Okay, it's not funny anymore. Sorry. Yeah, Dallas. I think obviously Western Conference Finals last year. Luka Doncic can carry teams to incredible
Yeah,
heights. If you have Luka Doncic on your team, you're probably going to end up in the top six regardless. That
yeah,
that's kind of just fact. Even if they have lost Jalen Brunson, they're getting Tim Hardaway Jr. back.
yeah.
Um, he pretty much. I think he missed pretty much the whole of last season, so he's going to be
Mm,
back this year at the two guard. Christian Wood they brought in. Rick Carlisle does plan on playing him off the bench. We'll see how that ends up going. Um,
yeah.
Whether Christian Wood will adjust to playing off the bench, I don't know. But if he does play on the bench, he's going to lead that second unit pretty well. Um,
6 man of the year, probably. Let's be honest as well.
yeah, there's potential there, and being on the bench, that's not the be all and end all. Usually, you look at like Tyler Hero, he was still playing 26 minutes off
Yeah,
the bench. He was still
and he
playing
was still
decent minutes.
averaging like 2021
Yeah,
in the
so
season.
playing
Like
off the bench might not be a bad thing, but it's equally a case of if Christian Wood, obviously, he's probably been
once,
brought in
yeah,
thinking I'm going to be starting for a playoff level team now for the
yeah.
first time in my career. But now they're putting me on the bench instead of
Mm.
JaVale
Which,
McGee.
like, I don't actually think it's that deep. Like, I think, like, because if he's coming off the bench, he's going to be playing like, because then when he's coming off the bench, all the other guys are coming off the bench, and it's probably going to be not easier, but like not as hard. You know what I mean? And that's probably why, like, when you have good players as your sixth man, that's the reason why they do so well because they're playing against people that are slightly below their level. I don't want to like, you know, diss the NBA players because obviously they're all there for a reason, but I don't think it's like you said as bad as he thinks it is. But
Yeah.
obviously he will want to be on the starting five and whatever. So I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, I guess all of this is probably why you've put Dallas fifth.
Yeah. What? How did you know that, bro?
I can read your mind. I can read your mind. This is the last time this is going to
Yeah.
happen. We called it quits after Sully told me that you
Yeah,
put
we
Dallas
did.
five.
So obviously I did put Dallas fifth, and I think even they could even do better than that. Like they were fourth last year, and they could maybe get that top four again, maybe even top three. Like we said, you're on Luca's team, you're gonna get top six, and to be honest, that guy just gets better as time goes on. He ages so like amazingly, and he's still so young. Like the
I was going to
guy
say age. He's still like 22.
ages as in like he's just getting better over time. Like
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
people, they get good and then they dip. Like he's just
Uh-huh. Yeah.
he doesn't look like he's going to slow down anytime soon. And it's really exciting to see. And
It's
the fact
it's
that he's
his
already
it's his
carrying the team
MVP. It's his MVP to lose this year, in my opinion.
100%. I think he's definitely in the running before the season's even started. Obviously, we saw him in the Euro ball as well. He was balling out with like Giannis. Like they were going like for their respective countries, they were going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it is Euro ball, like he was still like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I cannot forget like probably one of the most for me, what I've seen in my eyes in the playoffs anyway, like like individual performance was Dallas against Phoenix when he had more points than the whole of the Phoenix Suns. Like that, when I
Halftime,
saw
yeah,
that, I was like, this guy is crazy.
yeah. That
And
game
even though,
seven.
yeah, it was a stinker from Phoenix, but like, bro, like
There's a reason.
you
There's
have
a
to be
reason they had a stinker. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like you have to be on a different level to do that type of thing. And I think he's like you said, it's his MVP to lose this year, or definitely in the next 2 3 years, he probably will have one. And if he doesn't, he'll kick himself for it because he's knocking on the door.
Mm.
Like he's asking for it. Like he could have been in the running last year too, to be fair, and especially after his run in the playoffs, like how amazing he was for the Mavs. They're gonna want to do something very similar, maybe even push to the actual finals. Like they got to the conference finals, that's a massive, massive win for them, and they could do it again. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it again because he is really that good. Like it's kind of like LeBron with the Cavs, like the way he carried them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
he never won the championship until the second time, but he was that good. He was carrying them the whole time. I'm not obviously saying Lucas LeBron, but it's the same type of the way he's carrying Mavs right
Well, yeah,
now. Like,
it's like what I said a few weeks ago. I don't think Cleveland, since LeBron got in the league, Cleveland have only made the playoffs when LeBron has been on their roster.
yeah,
So
and like obviously he broke that massive like conference final, like oh sorry, playoffs record with Dallas. He did that, and I think that as a player, that would be a massive confidence boost. Like you're the reason the team you're on is massively
in the
succeeding
playoffs,
right now. You
yeah.
will just want to continue that. And yeah, so obviously I'll put them fifth, but I can see them doing even better. But I think with the way the league looks, that is probably like a good place to put them, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, in fifth, yeah, I agree with that. In fifth place, I've put Minnesota. The team that you put, I want to say eighth. The team that
Yeah,
you put eighth, Minnesota, I put fifth. Rudy Gobert is the regular season GOAT in the case that throughout the regular season, it's okay to be not good at perimeter defense as long as you can pack the paint and play
yeah,
to your style. Playoff basketball is different, and I think
hmm
that having Cat on the team is going to help him a lot more as long as Gobert's okay with sitting on the bench for a little bit in the playoffs. You know,
okay,
it's what kind of ruined Utah. The reason Utah was so good in the regular season is because their defense was that good, and
yeah,
Rudy Gobert was the staple point. He was the main guy who brought the
yeah.
defense. And then to add on to that, Cat is 3-point champion. Anthony Edwards getting better and better. Apparently, the 25th best player in the league, up for debate. And yeah, he's going to have I won't want to say a breakout year because he still did really well last year, but I think he's going to be an all-star contention this year. Obviously, the West is stacked for guards, so whether he'll get in or not
Yeah.
is a whole different question.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I think they have enough to do quite well in the regular season, and it'll set up a nice playoff first rounder against the team who I've put fourth.
No, I like that. I like that. And I think even though like I did put them quite low, I just think the type of basketball they want to play is not going to work out. If they played similarly to how they did last year, but then just like if Rudy is okay with not getting like points like he usually does, like obviously he's not really a massive point getter, but he would still like kind of like get points.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's okay with just being the guy whose main and pretty much only job is to defend, then I think they can do well again. Maybe probably better. Like you said, Anthony Edwards, probably in my opinion, the best player on their team. Like I'm not gonna lie, like overall, like I really like the guy. I think he's unreal, and if they somehow hold on to him, they've got probably the future franchise player in their hands for the next 5 or so years.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that the basketball they are looking like they're gonna play is not gonna work out for them. But on the flip side, if they do end up playing how you're saying, then I agree with you. They can do that well. And moving on to fourth,
Yeah.
I've my top three is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like my top three is actually mad. But in fourth, I've got Phoenix.
Okay.
So like kind of similar to what you said. I still think that they're a playoff lock because like the experience they've got in their team and the fact that they've got some of or like arguably one of the best guards in the league. Not even arguably, like you've got one of the best backcourts in the league, definitely. Like, and they've just got that team. They're still hungry to get back at that. What happened a couple of years ago? Obviously, last year, surely they'll see their playoff performance from last year and think, right, we are better than that. Like they're the team that had the best record in the NBA. They were unreal last year, like almost unplayable.
You can say by far the best record in the NBA as well.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Like they obviously the way they played in the playoffs was literally just like sometimes it happens we've seen plenty of teams like not perform in playoffs. We've seen it loads of times and it will continue to happen. Probably this playoffs will see a team like fumble and last year, sorry, it was them. But I don't think they'll do that again. I don't think they'll get to the finals either, but they might make conference finals. Definitely semis, I think they're in for. But obviously, like I don't think they're gonna be doing that best record in the league again.
No.
But top four for me, like they're still a playoff lock. They've still got CP. They've still got Devin Booker, and they've got the team. They just need to like literally fix the main problems they had. And like you said, right now, based off media day, I don't really know what's going on with them, but you can only assume that they've gone and fixed the problems because I doubt they're going to see like if you're the GM and like the coaching staff and whatever, and you saw media day, you're not going to think, okay, let's just leave that. Like you're going to fix the problems that are obviously there. And let's
Everything's
hope
fine here.
everything's cool. Like they're just sat in a burning building. Like, listen, it's gonna dry. It's gonna dry. It's fine. I mean, I hope that because like I don't want to see like like, you just see the big teams fold, like, and then it's not as competitive as usually. I don't want to see that. I want to see competitive basketball. Like you said at the start of the video, this is gearing up to be one of the most competitive seasons we could ever see, or definitely we've ever seen. And no, but and I think they can, like, if they play like how we know, then they can add to that competition. But if they fold and like they give up, kind of like how we saw on media day and the playoffs last year, then you're probably right. They probably will fall out of the playoffs, but I hope not, and I'm predicting that they won't. I hope so, anyways.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, obviously you've put
Mm.
you've put Phoenix a lot higher than I have. You've also put
Yeah,
New Orleans higher than me because I've put the Pelicans fourth. Which,
yeah,
if my predictions are correct, that sets up the Pelicans versus the Timberwolves in the first round, and I'm all for that. But
100%.
before we get too carried away, Zion is back. He finally played a game in preseason. The Pelicans scored 40 in the first quarter against the Bulls the other night, and Zion was Zion. Yeah, he missed a beat. Is what I can say, and their team is stacked this year.
Yeah.
Like last year, in the sense, like the Clippers. Last
Mm.
year, players had to step up with Zion
Yeah,
being out. I want to say, people like Alvarado and Herb Jones,
yeah,
second round picks and undrafted players,
yeah,
having to step up and prove their ground in the playoffs. Their team is stacked this year, obviously with McCollum,
yeah,
Graham, Devontae Graham. Obviously, I think is a solid backup. Alvarado,
yeah,
Herb Jones, Zion, Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas is
yeah.
still a solid center. Their team
Mm.
is very exciting this year. And like literally, I think it 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 it's so hard to predict them. It's so hard to predict them. They could either
Yeah.
be a shock one way and they'll win 60 games and finish top of the
Yeah.
conference, or they could be a
Or
shock,
it'll be the
or they could be
yeah, complete
shockingly
opposite.
underwhelming and finish eighth,
100%.
like last season. Like,
I really don't think I completely agree with you. Like, in the sense, I think they were more than likely, like, they're gonna shock everyone the positive way, and
yeah,
like you said, the team is stacked. And from what I've been seeing, like, obviously we were dying for Zion to play in the last playoffs. Like, the people that were watching the podcast will remember. Like, we were like, oh, surely he's gonna play game 3. Surely he's gonna play game 4. Like, we were waiting, and he just never turned up. But I'm glad because now the wait is over, and
who else they have? They have Willie Hernan Gomez, who I think is going to be one of the best backup centers in the league this year. Obviously,
exactly.
coming off of a EuroBasket MVP, tournament MVP, he won the Spain won the whole EuroBasket.
Yeah.
And Hernan Gomez was the best player on the best team. I reckon hopefully that translates into the NBA because I do want to see him do well, and I think he'd be a really good backup center this year.
Of course, brother of Bo Cruz, surely is gonna be the goat or the second goat. He'll be like the sheep. You know what I'm saying? He'll be the Wagyu beef. He's not the goat, but he's the Wagyu beef.
Nice.
But nah, for real, I really do think New Orleans are gonna step it up. I don't have them in third though. In third, I
Oh,
do have the Memphis Grizzlies.
okay. Hey, for the first time today, we've finally matched on something.
I told you it was gonna happen, bro. You didn't believe me. I told you it was gonna happen. I know our number one's gonna be the same. I mean, it should be.
Yeah, it really should be. Yeah. Um,
Um,
yeah,
but anyway,
Memphis.
yeah.
I mean,
So
they were the surprise team last year. I think they could ride the momentum.
100%,
Obviously,
100%.
they've lost. They've lost a few key pieces. In the off season, I want to say. I think did Carl Anderson leave? They lost. They lost a
I
like
can't, I can't remember, to be
they
honest.
lost a decent role playing forward. I reckon.
Yeah,
I think, but obviously, Ja will be fit for more of this season. I want to say.
hmm
Obviously, he still missed 20. He missed 22 games last season. I think it was.
yeah,
So he'll probably play 70 plus. I think this year. Desmond
yeah,
Bain can carry
yeah.
things on. Jaren Jackson, we're still waiting for him to properly break out. Yeah, I think they'll be able to keep it going.
Yeah, completely agree. I think the momentum is still with them. Like, they were the most amazing team to watch in terms of nobody expected that. Like, they finished second in the league, which is crazy to see. But also, like, They probably would have taken, like, if Ja hadn't got injured in the playoffs, they probably would have taken Warriors to seven as well. I don't think they'd have beat Warriors, but they probably would have taken them to seven. Like, they are that good. Like, and I think this season, especially,
Equally, either way, though, I reckon if Gary Payton didn't get injured in that series as well,
yeah, actually,
I'm
you're
not
right.
comparing Gary Payton to Ja Morant,
To
like,
Ja
but
Morant, but it's like
Gary
because he
Payton
was
was
that
very important
like
to that team.
yeah, 100%. You're right there. But like I think the Memphis and Warriors like matchups this season as well, they're gonna be like really
It'll
fun
be
to watch because
interesting, yeah,
obviously
because obviously
like yeah,
it's a building rivalry potentially. Mainly
yeah.
because
I don't think well,
Klay Thompson, like Draymond Green, and most of the Warriors are like unbelievably petty, in my opinion.
yeah, they are kind of beefing with them on Twitter and stuff. I've seen
Well, because it
Ja
was,
Morant, he
it was
made a
like
diss track.
after the after they won the title, Clay was sat in the
Yeah.
press conference with his trophy with the trophy.
Mm,
And I forget, but he like said he quoted what Jaren Jackson tweeted
yeah,
after like game four of the
yeah, and he called
first
him a
series.
bum or something like
Yeah,
that.
something
Like,
like that. Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
but no, I like it, and I'm here for the
I'm all
rivalry. To
for it.
be honest,
Yeah,
like
especially
hundred
as a
percent.
neutral fan, I'm definitely all for it. But
Yeah, like I mean, I love the Warriors, and I love like these I would say smaller teams, but like these young teams,
yeah,
and
no
like for me,
underdog team. I'd
yeah.
call Memphis still.
But
Yeah,
I can't. I don't think you can even call Memphis an underdog anymore. Like
for real.
everyone knows what they can. I wouldn't say like everyone's gonna
I
think
think
they're
people know
championship
what they can
teams,
do,
but
but I think they're kind of like what Phoenix were last season in the
yeah,
case of
yeah, I get you.
they overachieved the season before,
Mm,
and people are kind of predicting them a little bit
understanding that.
lower
Yeah, okay, okay. I
because
hear you on that one.
people don't know what they're going to do this year. I mean,
Mm,
Phoenix ended up with the best record in the league. Do I think Memphis are going to do that? Probably not. No, but
yeah, no. I mean, I did drop them a place from where they finished last year. To be
yeah,
fair, but I do think they're still top three like that. If
well,
Ja
and
can stay healthy as well, like, and
equally,
obviously we know that. Yeah,
Golden
like,
State didn't finish first or
mm,
second last year, so
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, true. Like, obviously we know the team can step up without Ja as well. I think that's the most important thing there. Like, we know that they're good without him, but with him they're obviously like different because like the guy is John Morant. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and yeah, for that reason, like we both think they're going to be third. Do you want to do your second first, or shall I?
Yes, I do. My second place is the Golden State Warriors.
That's crazy. I didn't even know you were going to do that.
Yep. Which means that my first place is the Denver Nuggets.
Mental,
There is
mental.
always a team, more specifically in the Western Conference, that shock us during the regular season. It's been Utah. It's been Utah. 2 seasons ago it was Phoenix. Last season it was Phoenix again and Memphis. And I think this season it's going to be Denver.
I didn't expect that. I'm not going to
No.
lie.
Jamal Murray's back. This has to be the season that Michael Porter Jr. like proves his worth, essentially,
Okay.
in my opinion. And I feel like teams around them are gonna be. I don't want to say tanking, but they're going to be resting players. Load management is going to happen.
Okay.
Like on the Clippers, Luka's probably going to miss a few games. I think they're going to rest Clay and Steph, the Warriors. Um,
Okay.
other teams around, I think, will rest players. I think
Yeah.
Denver can't afford to because they need a good draw
Yeah.
in the playoffs. They need a route where they just don't avoid where they avoid Golden State for as long as they can, in my opinion, or like a top team for as long as they can. You know,
Okay.
kind of like how they did in the playoffs 2 seasons in the bubble,
Yeah. In the bubble.
where they got to the conference finals, where they
Yeah.
avoided the Lakers, and then when they did end up playing them, they lost. But
Yeah.
if they can just avoid playing top teams, I think in the playoffs they'll do well. So I think they're gonna want to finish first.
100%. I know. You know what? I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I like where you're thinking and how you're thinking about it. Like I do like that. I mean, if that was to happen, surely that's three MVPs then. Like you have
You
to give
think
him a
so?
third one
You think so? Well,
because,
it
like,
depends on the start line. Obviously,
yeah, true. But
it depends how much
I
help he
doubt
ends
if
up getting.
I doubt if the Nuggets get first. Like Jokic isn't the main like he will be like the main reason for it, and like by far the main reason. Like it would be I mean, if that happens, obviously, I don't know how else other teams are going to play and like the East and stuff. But if that was to happen, like a lot of people would say, "Yo, where's the third MVP?" Because that would be crazy. Like, I'm really like, I don't expect that to happen for them to finish first. If they do, man, we'll put a bet on or something. I don't know, but that would be crazy. And you know what? If it happens, like they gotta get us on ESPN or something. Because like I don't think anybody has predicted Denver Nuggets to finish first. I think you're the only guy to do that.
I
They
just
have to
like I
get us
said,
on
there
ESPN,
is
bro.
there is always a team that shocks us, and I
Mm.
reckon this year.
Well, that team for me, even though
Well,
like
yeah, I'm gonna
we
say
know they're
you've put the
stacked
Pelicans second, haven't you?
second, yeah, I'll put
Yeah.
the Pelicans a second, which I don't know if that's a hot take or not. Like everyone knows they're gonna do well, and you know what? I don't care. Some said it first, but I've heard so many people say Zion could have an MVP season. But you said it first. You said it ages ago. We said it in the podcast. Someone can find a
It's on the
video.
TikTok. It's on the
It's on
TikTok.
the TikTok. It actually is, and that video did numbers too. It's on the TikTok, bro. Some said it ages ago, but now I'm seeing everybody say Zion could have an MVP season, and I'm like, my boy said it first, but I mean, it could happen. Like if Zion, like bro, when he was playing, even though it was time ago, he was averaging like 20 something points. He'll probably do more than that. The guy is arguably top three, maybe even top two most dominant players in the league when he's on the ball, bro. The guy is like,
Which
if
is
I saw
mental
him,
because it's not even like he's like Giannis or LeBron and tall. Like yeah, he's still what like 6'6". He's still an undersized
yeah,
forward.
he's not tall, but he's massive, and he's just
Yeah,
like I don't even know how to describe the guy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm playing in the NBA and I saw him running towards me, I would actually just move out of the way. I'm not trying to get put on House of Highlights and as he's killed me. Like, I just wouldn't do that. Like, bro,
but-
if you see him
yeah,
coming towards you, you know you're not gonna stop him. I've actually never seen a clip of somebody stopping Zion. I've never
yeah.
seen it. If there is one, somebody like
Well, I mean,
send it through.
Vucevic blocked him the other day. Vucevic blocked him the other day. Nikola
In the
Vucevic
preseason. You
he's
know
having
what?
a defensive arc. Who said we needed a defensive big? We've got Vucevic.
You know what? Chicago Bulls are winning the chip now. That's it, because they can stop Zion, bro. If they can stop Zion, they can stop everybody. No, but for real, like I think the guy is just that good, and I think
Yeah,
he's going to be the focal point for New Orleans. And like you said, there's always one team to shock us. Last year was Memphis. This year it's going to be the New Orleans Pelicans. But like
equally.
you
Do
know,
you think it? Do we really think it's a shock? I think
I
people,
don't
you know,
know.
it's
I
not like
mean,
in my Denver case where people are expecting Denver to have like a solid season, but no one's really expecting them to like their ceiling in a lot of people's eyes is probably fourth, maybe.
maybe with the
With the Pelicans, no one knows what's going to happen.
true. But I think I
They
mean.
could win 55 plus this year, and nobody will be like, this is so surprising
mm,
kind of thing.
That's true. I mean, I need to look into. I don't know, like the other NBA podcast people. I don't know what they're saying about it, but I can't imagine like a lot of people are predicting them to finish that high.
No,
I might be wrong.
I guess not, but what I'm saying is people like being safe with them, but if
Yeah,
they do win 55 plus this season,
yeah,
people like and Zion does average 28,
yeah.
and Ingram and McCollum play the full season and average 20 plus.
Mm.
Nobody's gonna be like, oh, this is such
Oh,
a
wow.
surprise
Yeah,
that these
because we
all-star
know
level
what
players
Zion
are
is.
averaging
That's the
20
thing.
plus points per game. It's like
Mm.
no one is
Yeah,
gonna be surprised at that.
yeah. Now we know what the guy is. That's the thing. We know what he is, and it's like I, I just, I think they can do it. And obviously, like Golden State. I backed them all last year. I think I put them in the top two or something, and they came third, or
Yeah,
like something like that.
yeah.
And I think, like, I mean, I don't know if the rumors are true, but we were talking about. I don't think Draymond Green has been asked,
No,
but
he hasn't been axed, but he is in hot water. You could probably say.
obviously, all of that stuff has come out very, very recently, like as of today, kind of thing.
Yeah, literally this morning.
And yeah, and I mean, I don't know how that will work for team chemistry, but you can
Well,
only assume, like.
it's the two players that are vying for a contract. And
Contract. That is true.
coming off
And to
season.
be fair, I did see something like I think yesterday, and it had Draymond, it had Clay, and it had Jordan Poole and A Wiggins, and it said who's getting cut when they need to give out the big contracts because it can't.
Is Klay
It has to
Thompson out
be
of
one of.
contract this year as well?
I think it's this year or next year, but
All
what
right.
I think
Okay.
it's them four. and it's like obviously they're all gonna want big contracts.
So you
And it's
can't
like,
give
who
out,
gets
you can't give
axed?
out 5 max contracts.
You can't. But it's like you just know. Obviously, Steph is always getting his max. Like we don't have to talk about that. But then it's like he's gonna want
Look,
the big three still there.
as much as it's always, I'm not gonna, I don't want to call it nostalgic, but it's like nice to keep Clay and Dre with
Yeah,
Steph. I think as an organization, you've got to be looking to the future, and the future is with Poole and Wiggins.
I hear you. I just don't. I just don't see them doing it. That's the thing. I see Wiggins getting axed. I don't think they should do that. Like if I'm the GM and I'm the organization, I'm getting rid of Draymond and I'm
Like,
getting
I
rid of
think
Clay.
if Steph Curry doesn't exist, Andrew Wiggins wins Finals MVP
Yeah,
last
but
season.
that's like then that's do they even win the finals if Steph Curry doesn't
Well,
exist?
no, but you know what I mean.
Let's say they won the
He
finals.
was
No, I agree
he
with
was the second. What I'm trying to say, he was the second best player on the finals run.
100%, 100%. You're absolutely right. But we have to all remember he didn't have an amazing regular season.
No,
Like
that's true.
in the playoffs, everyone was like, "Yo, where has this guy been?"
But you know what I say, your stars are made in the playoffs.
True,
If
true.
someone,
You have to if
obviously
if he's gonna
you
then
have to get there, but equally, if you're on a team that are gonna get there in the first place,
yeah.
maybe
But then
it doesn't really
if you're
matter.
cutting Draymond and Clay, then he's gonna
True,
have to step up in the regular season.
true.
I don't know. It's like as obviously we're not really fans of like I like watching the Golden State because they
Oh
play
yeah,
amazing basketball. I'm not a fan of them. Like I don't root for them to win, but
no, I
like
root for literally anyone else. They win too much.
I just like seeing Steph win. To be
No,
fair,
yeah,
I'm
I
not gonna
like
lie.
Steph, but
But like as neutral fans, obviously we think the future is there. But as a Warriors fan, you want to
yeah, I'm gonna
keep
say
your guys.
if you asked a Warriors fan,
They
I
would
think
say keep the big three.
I think they'd be just torn. Really, I think
Mm.
a lot of them probably wouldn't care because once they stop winning, they'll probably move on to like
True.
Brooklyn or and start supporting them. But I don't know.
I mean, to be
It is
fair,
what
I
it
don't
is.
think Draymond gets cut though. Not the first time. I think he gets a contract this time, and the next time he gets cut.
I think I would prioritize. I'd understand giving Klay Thompson a max over Draymond Green, in my opinion.
Really, I'd say the other way around. For me, Dre's like the center of that big three. I think he's what makes it tick. Like, yeah, Steph is obviously the guy, like 3 point king, like one of the best, arguably the best point guard of all time. But I don't know, man. I think Draymond is that guy. But
I
like,
think
obviously now I
think
don't.
I think you can replace Draymond. And to be fair though, I think if there are many players on that level of Klay Thompson, but equally I
Mm,
do think you could potentially replace Draymond.
really, that's mad. But then
Although
obviously, if he gets
equally
cut, we're
though,
not seeing his podcast
equally
like
though,
that.
yeah, true. Equally, Klay Thompson's replacement is literally on the team already in Jordan Poole. So
Exactly, exactly. I mean, you could say Wiggins is like a bit of Draymond, except he gets points.
I don't think he has that veteran status yet. Although this is
No,
what
as in
year
like in
9.
terms of skill, like obviously veteran status, like no way. I just mean like
But still,
skill set,
this is like year 9 for Wiggins.
something like that. He doesn't seem like it though. He's quite young and
Yeah,
still, like
drafted 2014. He was
2014. Yeah, but obviously Draymond is like what in year 12, 13 now, something like that. Maybe even
the 11
11. Yeah, something like
2012.
that. So there's not actually that much to separate them, but it seems like Draymond's been playing
Draymond
since
Green
like.
was drafted 2 years before Andrew Wiggins. What the hell?
Bro, it seems like he's been playing since like the dinosaur ages with Larry Bird and them guys, bro. Like it really does seem like that.
That's
But
peak on
he's
Larry
not.
Bird, man. Dinosaur ages.
Bro, they'd play a basketball game and then go outside and see a Tyrannosaurus Rex, bro. That's how old them games are. Honestly, it sounds bad. I just don't care about that era of basketball like everybody else. Like it's obviously the greats are there, but I just nah, man. This is the stuff right here what we see.
Yeah, I mean, I guess and we're off on a tangent to do with this. I guess we might as well. I guess I might as well put in, but that's why I think a lot of people in this era think LeBron's the GOAT
But
because
obviously, the older generation are never
we were
going to
there
say
to
that.
watch him.
I just think if you drop LeBron in the 90s, bro, he's going to murk everybody. Like, I think he's going crazy. But then, I don't know.
Dennis
I don't know.
Rodman,
It's
Dennis Rodman locks him up, and Chicago still win 6. But
I don't know, man. I mean, there was that one time. Did you see that video? Pat Bev was like, "What was LeBron's greatest career moment?" And he said, "When I blocked him," or something like that, because he blocked him on one of the Christmas Day games. That was
oh
funny. To
man,
be fair, that's the type of guy Pat Bev is. Like, I didn't expect an outside any different, to be honest.
nope.
But
I,
no,
I,
I'm
I was,
excited to
I
see
was,
LeBron and Pat Bev. To be honest.
no, me too. I'm excited if they keep Russ. They seem to be getting along well.
But then I don't know. It looked like he was gonna leave, and then he didn't. Like last minute,
Yeah,
which is kind of annoying.
we'll see. We'll
Like
see
I
what.
wanted to see what they'd get.
Yeah, we'll see if they'll start the season with Westbrook. But
Yeah.
again, move back to the Warriors. You think number 1, I think number 2. I just don't think
Either way, they're probably gonna get like the same like closeness to record 1 or 2. Like we know they're getting that
and
top 2.
either way they're gonna make the finals. So
Yeah, literally.
I don't
Unless
think it
something
matters.
drastic happens, like a big injury or something. Like
Yeah,
if Steph gets injured or something, okay, cool. They're obviously not gonna make it. But if they have the strength and health that they had last season, obviously they're starting the season with Clay as well. Like
they're also
that's big.
starting the season with James Wiseman.
Exactly. They've
You
actually
know,
gotten like a lot stronger this year than last year. And last year they won
they
the chip.
finally have
Like
some backup center. You know,
yeah.
whether Looney starts or whether Wiseman starts, they've actually got a backup
Mm.
center now. They're not
Yeah,
playing
obviously
small
they've lost
forward,
out
you know,
on a few guys, but there's
yeah.
still. I think this just gives more room for people like Jonathan Kuminga and stuff like that, like to just come through. And obviously, like that, I quite like that guy. And like you said, James Wiseman is here now. We know, like we kind of see what he can do,
Mhm.
and we'll probably see more of him. But either way, so we can agree. We've done our West. This is the West video, and we're saying Golden State making the finals.
Probably, yeah.
So what's the conference finals then for the West?
For the West, let's go Warriors and so what would they? Sorry, let me just check. They'd have to play 7th, which I think are gonna be Phoenix. So they'll probably beat Phoenix.
Hmm.
Then it's what 3rd and 6th, Memphis Dallas. I think a Memphis Golden State semi-final again.
That would be crazy. That would be sick.
Um,
To be honest, from where I've put it, I think it probably will be Warriors and Pelicans in the conference finals.
I think it'll be. I think it'll be. See, the thing is, the way I've put it,
It's
it
different, isn't it?
they
They'd have
can't.
to find each other beforehand.
I want to say they're gonna have to play Memphis or Dallas the ahead of the semi-final. Sorry, in the semi-finals, so before the finals. So I think Denver. I think Denver.
You think it's the
it'll be
Warriors Denver?
either Denver or the Pelicans. Unless
Yeah. To be
actually
fair,
the Lakers, maybe the Lakers, they can make a run from
I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see the conference finals of Lakers and Warriors, bro. If that happens, I'm flying to LA. I need to catch a game, bro. I mean, I'll stand outside and I'll listen to the crowd. Like, I just assume I know what's going on. Because I mean, bro, we got as close to, like, not a final showdown, but, like, obviously LeBron and Steph has been pretty much our NBA, like, lives. That's all we've ever seen, LeBron versus Steph. And then when we saw them in the play-in, that's the best playing
Yeah,
game
yeah.
I've ever watched in my life. Like, even though it's only been, like, 2-3 years of it, that playing game was unreal. The Lakers and the Warriors. But if that
Yeah,
final was
definitely.
to happen,
Definitely.
that would be crazy. I would love it.
Yeah.
And then who knows? LeBron gets his 5th chip. Who even knows?
It would be. Nah, that will be
Definitely.
lovely. But
I'm for it. I can't lie.
that will conclude. Oh, okay. Well, that will conclude today's Western Conference predictions. Again, apologies that it is only the West when I said it was both before. But equally, we have ran like over an hour and 10. So the if we did the East as well, it'd be like a 2.5 hour podcast.
Nobody's watching it, bro. Like
Nobody
you
wants
guys
that.
would see the
So,
West bit and be like, you know what? It's fine. Yeah. But I think
we're
the East
dipping.
one will actually be more
So
interesting as well, to
East,
be fair, because there's so much more.
yeah, I think so too. So East will be next week, and then the NBA starts on the Tuesday the 18th. So we'll have the West,
Yeah,
the Eastern
man.
predictions next week, and then the week after it will be actually reviewing NBA games. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
Man,
But
it's been so long, bro. It's been so long.
it's been too long. It's been too long. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribing. Share it out no matter what you're listening on. And me and Sully will see you guys next week.
Hell yeah,
Peace.